Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make homemade vanilla ice cream. Now you may ask, why bother making homemade ice cream when you can just as easily buy it at the store? I do it for a few reasons. One, I really like the taste and texture of homemade, and I also like the whole process of doing it. And I find when I serve people homemade ice cream, they really enjoy it, and they enjoy that you took the time to make them something homemade. And the thing is, it's really easy to make. What we're making essentially is a custard sauce that then we chill and then just freeze in our ice cream machine. And really all you need is 4 ingredients: cream, egg yolks, sugar, and vanilla. So to start, what you will need, because we are going to cook the custard over a saucepan of simmering water, so you will need a heat-proof bowl. I prefer stainless steel, and you will need 5 large egg yolks. If you want to go by weight, that would be 85 grams of egg yolks. And then to that, I'm going to add 2/3 of a cup, that's 135 grams of granulated white sugar, and just a pinch of salt, like 1/8 of a teaspoon. Now the sugar, of course, it adds sweetness to our ice cream, but it also helps with the texture, and same with the egg yolks. It gives us this nice, creamy, smooth, rich texture, and also colors our ice cream, and then salt just kind of enhances the flavors. Now, I want to beat these together just to get some air in there until they're kind of light and fluffy. Now I'm just going to do it by hand with a wire whisk. It's always good to get a little workout with our arms. But you could use a hand mixer as well. So just beat them together for maybe a minute or two. Okay, my arm's getting a little sore, so I think I'll stop. So this is what we're looking for. It just gets some air and it gets nice and light and fluffy. Okay, so now what we need is 2 cups, that's 480 milliliters of half and half cream. And half cream is just as the name says, it's half milk, half cream. It typically has a butterfat content of between like 10 and 18%. Now I know some people say they can't find it where they live, so what you can do is just mix together an equal amount of whole milk, full fat milk, with a light cream, and essentially you just have your own half and half. So what we want to do is heat this just until you start to get bubbles around the outside and it starts to foam up. Watch it carefully, because once it starts to foam, it can really goes crazy and it can overflow. So watch it carefully. You can do this in a saucepan on the stove, or what I'm going to do is just do it in the microwave. Okay, so as you can see, my cream's just starting to foam up. So now what we're going to do is add it to our egg yolk and sugar mixture. Now, of course, you don't want to just take all that hot cream and just dump it in there and just let it sit, because what we'll do is we'll cook our eggs, which we don't want. So what I like to do is first, you always want to be whisking, and I just add a little and then whisk that in. And that's what we call, we're tempering it. So we're bringing up this egg mixture up to temperature, warming it up, so that when we add the rest, we don't have to worry about cooking our eggs, and we won't get any lumps. Now, if you did happen to get, some little pieces of cooked egg, just strain your custard, and then that'll fix that. So now what we're going to do is put our custard over a saucepan of simmering water. And of course, when you're doing anything with egg and you're cooking it, you want to cook it, whisk it, stir it the whole time, because we don't want our eggs to cook. So what we're going to do is cook this. Now I prefer, just to be accurate, I just use my a thermometer, and we want to take it up to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 77 degrees Celsius. Or if you don't have a thermometer at home, what you can do is just use a wooden spoon, and you want to cook the custard until it becomes thick, or it coats the back of your spoon, which I will show you what it looks like when we get there. Now this, keep stirring it, have your water at simmering, keep checking your water, you don't want it too hot. And this can take, depending on the temperature of your water, between like 5 and 10 minutes. Okay, so we're at 170. It's Fahrenheit, 77 degrees Celsius, so take it off the heat. And then if you were using the wooden spoon, as you can see, it draws a line and it doesn't fill in. That's when you know your ice cream, your custard is ready. So now, of course, we're making vanilla ice cream, so we need some vanilla flavor. Now, if you want to do it the fast and easy way, you can either use 1.5 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, or what I really like to use is 1.5 teaspoons of what is called a vanilla paste, and kind of it's a combination of vanilla extract and vanilla bean, because it has all the little seeds from the vanilla bean, which is really cool looking in your vanilla ice cream. The other choice, of course, is to use a fresh vanilla bean, which you can buy, and try to, this one's really nice and soft. You don't want those ones that are kind of, sometimes you see them, they're kind of dry and all shriveled up and hard. Don't buy those. Buy the ones that are really nice and soft. And then what you want to do is take your knife, you can see here, and then just cut through. Cut down the center. I can do that right. And then peel it, and then cut it. I don't have my glasses on. Here, okay. And then just split it apart, and inside is where all those beautiful little black seeds are. Oh, you can really smell the vanilla. And then just take your knife and do it the wrong way so you can see it. Just scrape out see all those vanilla beans? And then we're just going to add those to our custard. So either way, I don't want to waste any of that. And then what I like to do, actually, because what we're going to do now is chill. I actually put the whole beans in there, because that way it'll keep flavoring. And then I'll just remove the beans when I go and when we go to freeze our ice cream. So what we're going to do now, so we're done. Pretty easy. But we have to chill, because what you don't want to do, if you tried to put a hot custard into your ice cream machine, it would warm up your base so quickly that your ice cream would not freeze. So what you want to do is to chill your custard really well. That can take several hours, but what I do is I just make the custard the day before and then let it sit in the fridge overnight. That way it actually not only does it chill it, but it gives time for all the flavors to kind of blend. So what I'm going to do is just have that, and then I'm just going to cover it with some plastic wrapper foil, and then let it cool to room temperature, and then put it in the fridge and let it chill. And when we come back, we will freeze our ice cream. Okay, so we're now ready to freeze our custard. So take out those vanilla beans if you use that, and then just wash them, dry them, and then put them in your sugar, and then you can have nice vanilla flavored sugar. And then, whatever type, there's all different types of ice cream machines. So always read your manufacturer instructions on how your particular one works. And then what I'm going to do is turn it on, and then I'm just pouring in the custard. Typically, you only want to fill your ice cream machine about 1/2 to 2/3 full because you want there to be a lot of room for your ice cream to churn and to expand so you get a really nice texture. And so that's how mine works. And the base of mine I had to freeze, and that's what makes the ice cream, the custard, nice and cold. So I have to this takes about 25-30 minutes. So when we come back, we will have ice cream. Okay, so my ice cream's done. Now with the type of machine I have here, I freeze this base so it's really cold. So once I put my custard in and it churns, once this base becomes warm, it's kind of like it's going to freeze as much as it's going to freeze. And so mine is still quite, like it's a little soft still. So what I do is I transfer it to a covered container and I put it in my freezer for a couple hours just until it gets really cold. Although to tell you the truth, if my kids are around and I make this, they don't care if it's a little soft, and it never makes it to the freezer. So, you know, probably going to be like that in your house as well. So now, if you don't have an ice cream machine, you still can make homemade ice cream. You can do what is called a still freeze. And how you do that is I'd like to use a shallow metal container, put your cold custard in there, and then put it in the freezer. And then after about maybe 45 minutes, the custard will start to freeze around the edges. And then, so take it out of the freezer, give it a good stir, and then put it back in the freezer and keep doing that over usually a couple hours. And then you have homemade ice cream. So, as you can see, doesn't that look? It's kind of more like soft ice cream at this point. But it is so good. And I'm going to try a little. That is so, I mean, it's really great. It's very rich. It's creamy, a nice vanilla flavor, a very nice, creamy, smooth texture. Excellent. You know, everyone's going to love it. So enjoy. And until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joyofbaking.com.